Okay, welcome back to day 2 of algebra. Today we're going to look at adding polynomials. And when we say adding polynomials, what we really mean is this idea of collecting like terms or simplifying these algebraic expressions. Actually, those words I would say all mean really the same thing. And so recall from yesterday that like terms are terms that have the same variable and the same exponent, right? That's my reminder from yesterday. They have the same exponents and the same variables. Okay, and the idea is we're going to group the like terms beside each other. That's step 1. We're going to group the like terms next to each other. So we're just going to change the order, similar to what we did yesterday when we put things in descending order. And then we are going to combine the coefficients. In other words, we're going to actually add or subtract the like terms together. And this is going to require use of our integers. Okay, so definitely you want to have your calculator handy if integers was something you had a little bit of trouble with. Okay, and just like we talked about yesterday, I think taking a note or trying these examples at the same time is very important. So you'll want to have a piece of paper ready with you. Remember, you can pause the video at any time. You can rewatch the video, whatever you need so that you have some examples ready to go in class tomorrow. Okay, so let's take a look at our first example. Okay, in our first example, you will notice that we have x terms and we have y terms. So step number 1 is going to be to put the terms beside each other, remembering always that the sign in front belongs with the coefficient. So this is a -4, this is a +2, this is a +6, and if you don't see a sign, of course, it's a positive. So when we change the order, those signs are really, really important. Okay, doesn't matter which terms you put first, but let's just stick with the first one we see. So we're going to put the 5x together. The 5x, of course, is a like term like the 2x because they both have x's. So we're going to put those ones beside each other. And then we're going to take our y terms. So we have a +6y and a -4y, and we're going to put those terms beside each other. So we're just rearranging the order. Okay, and now on our next line, we're going to use our integer knowledge. Okay, so for our x terms, just look at the integers because we're combining like terms. You can only add them together if they are like terms. So we have +5 plus 2, so 5 plus 2 would of course give us 7 of those terms. So in this case, those are x terms. So it's like we're combining, let's say, bananas. We have 5 bananas plus 2 bananas equals 7 bananas. And hopefully that makes sense to you. Let's take a look now at our y terms. Okay, here, reading off our integers, we have +6 minus 4. Okay, here we could be thinking of, let's say, apples. It's like we have 6 apples and we're taking away 4 of those apples. So what are we left with? 6 minus 4 is +2 of those apples. Okay, again, and a really note that we want to pay attention to at the end is we cannot combine these. This doesn't equal 9 of any kind, whether it's x, y, because we can only add terms together if they are like. So make yourself a note like that. We can only add terms if they are like. Okay, so that's really the idea we're going to look at today, and we're going to look at all different kinds of terms, but it really doesn't matter as long as you can identify the like terms. Okay, so you might want to get out some colors. In our second example here, why don't we just color code the like terms? We have an x squared, and then notice how I say it. We have a -2x squared, and then the other set of like terms, we have a -3x, and a plus or a +4x. So again, the first step is just going to be to reorder them. So we're going to have x squared minus 2x squared. And then we're going to continue with -3x plus 4x. And again, this is that idea back from integers where we say negative or we say minus or positive or add, and they really kind of mean the same thing when we're just changing the order here. Okay, and now using our rules of integers, we're going to simplify. This is, of course, an imaginary 1 minus 2. So 1 minus 2 equals -1 x squared. Okay, and then our x terms, we have negative 3 plus 4, which gives us positive 1 of those terms x. Okay, and just note it's common practice not to actually write the ones, in this. So you would actually usually see this as negative x squared plus x. Okay, let's try a few more. Let's take a look at this next one. Now, you'll notice in this next one that we've got some double signs here and these brackets. You remember this is just like when we saw integers before. Please remember that that really actually is just to trick you, okay, just to keep you on your toes. And same as when we were doing integers, before I did anything with this one, I would want to get rid of the double signs and the brackets. So this is going to be a y. Okay, you remember from before that a positive with a negative we rewrite as one sign only, which is minus or negative 5y plus 6z minus 2z. Now you'll notice in this one the like terms are already together. We have 1y minus 5y, and then we have 6z minus 2z. So we can simply subtract those and actually use our integers. 1y minus 5, so 1 minus 5 is negative 4y. And then we have 6z minus 2z, so 6 minus 2 is positive 4, so positive 4z. And remember, we can't combine these two any further because they are not like terms, different variables, right? Okay, if you can do yourself a favor and pause the video right now, write down number 4, try it yourself, and then come back and check your answer. Okay, getting rid of the double signs. Okay, now you'll notice that this is a like term, this is a like term, and this is a like term, and we just have that x term all by itself. So we're just going to rewrite it in that order. So we have 3y plus 2y, it's a positive 6y, and then we have a minus 7x. So we're just combining now the y's. We have 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 6 is 11, so we have 11y, and we just keep tacking on that negative 7x. It doesn't have any like terms in this situation, so it gets just left to the end. Okay, Okay, and let's try one more way that we can sort of throw things off or make things look a little different, and that is by putting these brackets in here. So you'll recall this is a binomial plus a binomial, and really because we're adding the binomials together, there's really no purpose to those brackets. They're just there to make things look weird, to show what it looks like when you add binomials together. They're really just there to confuse you. First step is always to get rid of those brackets, just like it was above with the double signs, and then we're just going to follow exactly what we did before. We're going to put the like terms next to each other. Don't forget, the sign in front belongs with it. And then we're going to do some simplifying. We have 1x plus 2x, of course, gives us 3x. And then we have our constant terms. Those are like terms, remember. We have a positive 3 minus 1, which gives us a positive 2. Okay, so those brackets are really just there to get rid of. Okay, again, pause the video, try the next one on your own, and come back and check your answer. Okay, watch the signs carefully in this one. Now I'm going to put the like terms beside each other. Here I have 3 groups of terms. I have my x squareds, I have my x's, and my constant terms. Okay, so when I'm reordering, it doesn't matter which order you put the terms in, but what I am doing right here is putting them in descending order of powers, which is sort of how they are anyways. Okay, and now we'll do some simplifying. We have 6 minus 4 is 2 of those terms, the x squareds, or the yellow terms if you like. This next one is a little bit tricky. We have negative 7 plus 6. Negative 7 plus 6 is negative 1x. And then the last terms we have positive 8 minus 3, which is positive 5. And again, if you are ever checking answers in the back of a textbook or online for something like this, you wouldn't really have the 1 there. So try to get used to not writing the 1. Okay, this takes some practice for sure. We're going to practice this skill in class tomorrow a lot. See you then.